G'day friends and fans, welcome to Dave Talks Stuff Ukraine War Update for the 17th of April 2026. Russia's making slow progress, but it's making progress. And as we look around the map, we can see that it is in fact slow progress. They have hit energy production facilities near Kremikiv, transport facilities at Dnipro. Ukraine. This is in retaliation for Ukraine's attack on Sevastopol and a explosion near Trubisky overnight. Zelensky continues to justify his attacks on civilian infrastructure as military targets. Pardon me, as military targets, even though Democrats in America claim that America's attacks on infrastructure are a war crime. The hypocrisy is outstanding and expected and goes unpunished. So here we have, there are attacks all across the northern front, and there is not much, as you can see, to report. There is small progress near Seversk and probably little areas across the front, but not much. There is not much progress whatsoever across the front. Well, Russia's optimistic, saying they're hopeful for it will be over soon. So we'll see. As part of that, Russia has increased its flow of equipment, and this, one of their more effective weapons is the Salandra system, the TOS. Now the TS2 is called a heavy flamethrower. It's a 220mm rocket, and it fires a thermobaric weapon up to 15 here from its launcher. And yeah, I know it's got more tubes, so I don't exactly know how it works. So, but here it says 18. Sorry, I misread it. 18. So yeah, still. 5, 6, 3 6s, 18. Right. So. Yeah, I don't know why it has some. It's probably fired already or just test rockets. I don't know. Oh, go back a bit. Right, here we go. This is actually a video from the manufacturer. They fired. There's the rocket. And then they're showing the liquid high explosive that is vaporized by, there's an explosive core. When the rocket sinks its target, when it goes off, it vaporizes the fuel. It is coming in. That's what it looks like going off. That's what it looks like to be near it. And I think that's for film file. So yeah, that's about it for this. Yeah. Now, according to the open source intelligence, they list that one was destroyed and another damaged in 2025 near Pavosk. They were used in also, I think, the fall of Bakhmut. Now, Trump has responded to Russia's missile and drone strike. He says it's terrible. Now, Russia responded to a Ukrainian drone and missile strike and sent a huge wave of drones and missiles. Now, the tit for tat between Russia and Ukraine started with the Ukraine's destruction of the Nord Stream pipeline. There is to be hearings in London on the insurance claim. Lloyds is denying the insurance claim, saying it was destroyed by state actors as an act of war, and therefore no insurance payments should be made. Nord Stream argues that these pipelines were outside the conflict zone, were not a military site, and sabotage was not aimed at achieving military goals. No, this was an economic attack on a company that Russia is heavily invested in, as well as the source of the primary product. Germany, one of the partners in Nord Stream, is very silent on this. They have lost billions of dollars of investment. And this is all because Europe won't stand up to Ukraine. They won't do the right thing. Ukraine was engaged in ethnic cleansing, but because it pleased the European masters to see the destruction of the Russian economy and Russian people, they don't care. So much for morality, right? They could talk about morality. Oh, you can't destroy Iran. Oh, but you can destroy Russia for us, please. Yeah. So the hypocrisy knows no bounds. Now, Russia's deployed the Belgorod heavy-duty robot. This is a mine-clearing system. Now, 90% of mines, allegedly, again, this will depend on the number of meters they're under clear and how many mines per meter, and whether they're anti-tank or anti-personnel. Now, hopefully the unit can withstand 6 anti-tank mines or a large number of anti-personnel mines. But we all know these units, they get replaced. They're replaced often. Apparently, the operating unit can be... often the robot has its arms blown off, and that's why they have big long arms, so the arm gets blown off and they could just go back, put a new arm on it instead of replacing the whole unit. Robotic systems detonating mines, nothing new. They use a pretty basic shockwave system, usually a shotgun shell with water in it. The water creates a powerful spray, powerful shockwave, and it detonates the mine, simulating being stepped on. And it's going to detect the mine using various techniques, not just magnetics. So increasingly the number of mines are plastic. But the difference is this time they're trying to teach an AI to clear mines so they can do it faster. The Russian military has claimed to have destroyed a number of facilities in response to Kiev killing children in a drone attack on Russian territory. Russia carried out a large strike, land, and sea. They claim all targets were hit. Ukraine's targeted coastal cities in southern Kernetsk region, which includes Sochi. Apparently, an apartment block, kindergarten houses were damaged in this assault. There was also a Liberian flag tanker. The Turkish captain was injured. Russia's accused Kiev of using Western supplies weapons to target civilians. And they have responded by releasing a list of European companies involved in the manufacturing military drones and said they're now legitimate military targets. And we have seen some facilities set fire to. We have seen a youth arrested in the UK for setting fire to a drone facility. I believe he pleaded guilty to charges of setting fire, but denied working for the Russians. That did not fly with the judge, but the case was sealed under national security, so I think they whisked him away to one of the deep, dark dungeons where human rights don't exist. Good old Britain and their... good old Britain, right? You can count on them to crack down on white people, that's for sure. Now, Russian missile strikes have been effective, not just in Ukraine. They have effectively scared the pants of Europeans who expected Russian missiles to be highly inaccurate. Now, it doesn't mean they are highly as accurate as the Americans, but from what Russia makes up in inaccuracy, they make up in relentlessness. Now, the Europeans hope to be relentless and accurate, but they do have a number of problems. Now, the key vulnerability is they assemble the carcasses across multiple locations and have them assembled, including installation of the brains, aka the electronics and explosives, in Ukraine. That way they can offset the insurance liability that another dead Ukrainian, no one cares, that sort of thing. Now, often these stages are unsynchronized. They have to keep operating secret. So you have people at drone facilities waiting around for days, if not weeks, for parts to be delivered. The parts could have been sent, but destroyed en route, or they are bottlenecked because instead of going overland, they decided to put them on a ship and going around through the Turkish Straits. And Turkey doesn't let through ships without inspection, which takes time. They have to go slow because of the erosion to the shoreline and historic sites along the shoreline. So a lot of things are moving parts in this, and I do believe the majority of the time the reason why they're coming through the Straits is the electronics. Ukraine has no electronics. European electronics is predominantly in China anyway. European facilities lack the production capacity to keep up. Now, even if they were managed to keep up and launch thousands of drones, Russia has and will continue to increase its attacks and air defenses. And as I said, all they have to do is target them at the bottleneck, at the border, as they come in, identify the trucks. If Russia was able to step up drone production to some effective measure where they can, and right now it's believed that a single operator can operate a swarm of about 10 drones, 8 to 10 drones, enough to disable a tank. So they could send swarm after swarm, and if they're clever about it, they can eventually creep up and destroy more and more equipment, more and more. The air defenses will be eventually overwhelmed on both sides, and it'll come down to how much you can intercept and destroy to shut down drone production. That's the only thing they have to do. And Ukraine is predominantly being used as a reverse proxy. Russia's prolonging the Ukraine war now to wear down the European economy, to work out every vulnerability, to protect their own economy from European interference now and into the future. This is why they want their own payment system, so that you can't sanction them anymore. Because it's not about international law. It's about the lack of enforcement against Ukraine or against anyone other than Russia. And yes, Russia has some bad friends, which it has protected as well. But trying to get revenge on Russia is a pointless exercise. Okay? The best revenge is to play by your rules, right? And watch them lose favour. But because the majority of the world doesn't like Europe. They're sick of European snobbery and hypocrisy. Sooner or later, the Ukraine war has to end simply because Germany can't afford it, France can't afford it, Britain can't afford it, and Ukraine, they're just going to bleed out men. And the thing is, Europe wants to round up the 2 million plus Ukrainian men and send them back, so they don't have to pay them benefits. Well, you're sending them to their death, and then you're just going to turn a blind eye and go, oh well, at least we tried, right? We still tried to stop the Putin. So, it's all ego, right? It's all politics. It's exploiting the gutless keyboard warrior who wants to take out their Cold War fantasies in the modern era. Well, I'm James Bond. I'm going to destroy the Russian boogeyman. That's what it is. Some people need a boogeyman. The opportunity for peace, however, still rests with the Americans. They are putting pressure on Russia, but they also got to put pressure on Ukraine. But Europe doesn't want this war to end. So, yeah. Pardon me. So, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Please support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon, buy my books, buy merch. I appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video, and bye for now.